Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and tonight I just got back from watching the new Dev Patel movie, Monkey Man, which is an interesting one. So it has been largely advertised as essentially John Wick in India, showing all these really awesome fight scenes and some gunplay, and that stuff is in the movie. It's definitely in the movie. However, I will say, while that stuff largely happens in the first act and in the third act especially, a lot of the middle parts of the movie, they slow way down, they get a lot more contemplative. We kind of like learn more about what's going on with him psychologically and like spiritually. There's a lot of spirituality in this movie also, so like it's definitely not just pure action. So if you're expecting it to be essentially the John Wick stunt show all over again, you are going to get some of that, but that's not entirely what the movie is. This movie also deals with a lot of societal and cultural things and political things about India that I don't know about. You know what I mean? Obviously, like, I don't live there. I don't know like everything about the culture. So like, it looks like there was some kind of class warfare commentary happening here. Some stuff like that going on. So that's definitely a lot of other things about the movie. So basically it's not just John Wick, whereas John Wick is it's just action, it's just fun stunts, choreography. That's all the movie is. This one definitely tries to be, a little bit more, there's more to it, but it does have that stuff in there. So overall, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I feel like this was definitely something I could easily see myself watching again. And it is basically a revenge flick. Like, this is not him, I guess it is kind of him becoming a folklore superhero kind of guy, right? Like he's got the monkey mask on, and towards the third act they start like chanting his name, like Monkey Man, monkey, and he kind of like builds his own legend as symbolically enacting this like actual lore that they have with this, like, the demon king that's defeated by this monkey guy, and he kind of embodies that whole thing. So yeah, just overall I really enjoyed it. Something else I want to talk about real quick is that there is portions of this movie, especially during the second act and the third act, they play a big part. He's on the run from the police and from everyone because of a first failed assassination attempt of this guy he's trying to get revenge on. And at a certain point, he gets taken in by this group that has essentially been pushed to the outskirts of society. They have to live in this old abandoned temple. And a lot of the members of this group are trans. And apparently, I had to try and do a little bit of research. Like, this is a thing in India. Like, it's, they got like their own name for this group, and and I gotta say, I'm not gonna pretend to fully understand like the whole cultural and societal like part that they play or whatever, right? But I saw, and I knew this was gonna be the thing, I saw immediately, like the second an article came out that mentioned that, like, oh yeah, there's trans people in the movie, all of the comments were just like, it's woke John Wick, it's woke, I'm not gonna spend my money on this, I'm not gonna waste my time on this. Generally just shitty people being really shitty, so I don't know if that encourages you to go see the movie, even out of spite for like some of the real bullshit that you see horrible people saying online, because that's one element of the movie. There you go, that is a thing in the movie. There you go. I don't know, take from that what you will, but just it when I saw it in the movie, I was like, oh god, this is gonna be a thing that really shitty people on the internet are gonna like try to make this a thing against the movie. And sure enough, I did see some of that already. I don't know if that's going to increase as we approach the weekend and more people see the movie, and that's going to... I don't know if this is going to be like some kind of stupid outrage uproar on the internet from the usual characters who would get mad at this stuff, right? So, anyways, I just feel like I had to address that because I am talking about the movie. And in any case, look, the movie is really good. It's not exactly just John Wick. It's not exactly just action. The other thing I will say there were some really great, wonderful choreography going on, like really awesome stuff. But, and this has been a common one, and I think this is fair, there is a lot of shaky cam in some of the action sequences. Now, some of it works, you know, like during the chase scenes where they're driving around their little tiny buggy scooter car thing. I don't know what this is. I've seen it before, but like this little buggy car thing. They're driving through driving through the streets, and he's running through crowds, and he's, you know, it's really energetic in that way, and the shaky cam works for those. But what's often criticized, and I think rightfully so, is that when you have such great fight choreography, and there's definitely a lot of that in here, then they still half the time do the shaky cam, and you can't clearly see what's happening. You just see like the occasional like, oh, I think that hit connected, or oh, I think this person's getting flipped onto something. I couldn't tell if that was a table or if they got flipped into a plane of glass, or I don't know what just happened, because the camera's moving around too much. So be prepared for that. You know, it did remind me of it reminded me of Jason Bourne, like the first couple, because I remember, and it's been a while since I've seen those, but I remember those movies having a lot of like, oh, everything's moving around, he's running, it was shaky, you know. And I was like, all right, okay, you know. So they probably could have calmed that down a bit, especially because I could tell like, oh, there's some amazing choreography happening. Something else I do like about this movie though is that, you know, all the John Wick comparisons. So this movie, he does not start off as John Wick. You know what I mean? Like he, you know, he can fight, like he does some like street brawling and like fighting for money kind of things, but like he's not, you know, super assassin man, you know. Like he gets in rough and tumble fights where he gets his ass kicked a decent amount, and you know, he's capable, but he's not like John Wick, right? It's only throughout the movie as he does more training, and he kind of like, you know, he goes on like this whole personal spiritual arc, I guess. Then in the third act, he becomes John Wick. So it is kind of, you know, I do appreciate that they didn't start the movie off and it's like, okay, he's already the coolest, most capable guy in the world. You know, he can kick the ass of like 12 people all in the room together. It's like, no, he had to work up to that point. You know, eventually he does get there, but he had to like build up to being able to be that guy. So I do appreciate that they did that, because the third act really does explode. So yeah, if any, you know, my criticisms, I'd say shaky cam, it is kind of an issue at certain points, especially when you're trying to see clearly what's happening. And the second act, it does just kind of drag for a while. I feel like they definitely could have like edited that down, made the movie a little shorter, a little bit tighter, get to that third act craziness a little bit faster. But yeah, overall, I still had a great time. I think this was something that if they do a sequel and they fix some of these like issues here, I can see it being like a genuinely great sequel. But overall, I like this movie fine. I think this was a pretty good one. I'm glad it didn't just go straight to Netflix, because it definitely would have just been lost in Netflix's, you know, Netflix does a weird thing where they just throw movies on there half the time, no commercials, no fanfare at all, and it's just there and it's gone forever. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about Monkey Man, and you know, if you agree with the shaky cam. I don't know, it might bother some people more than others, but I definitely noticed it. You know, I don't know if it like bothered me, but I could definitely tell like, oh man, we're moving, they're doing the thing. It reminds me of Jason Bourne. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys later. Bye.